Welcome to the Space Out podcast, where we chill out, chat about, and space out. I'm your host, Luca, a.k.a. LucaTony, and today we're going to be talking about the state of cancel culture and its impact on the internet. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the famous, or should I say infamous, Twitch streamer Alinity, which right now there's big commotion and talk over in the Twitch ecosystem. But in order to catch you all up to speed, just in case you don't know who she is, Alinity, like I mentioned before, is a popular Twitch streamer that became infamous over multiple controversies that she has been a part of over the past, I think it's been 2 years. Just to preface this and to give you some kind of background context, Twitch has had controversies with female streamers having what people might call revealing clothing, which while might not be a problem IRL, it could be considered normal clothing, it is a problem within Twitch's strict community guidelines. Some female streamers have even been caught bending over with small skirts by accident. I'm saying by accident while doing air quotes, because it really wasn't by accident. It's kind of obvious in some cases, and other things of that nature, where it's just and Twitch has let them pass. So Twitch has a tendency of having controversies with their female streamers, and Alinity first became super mega huge popular when the super mega huge popular YouTuber PewDiePie was reacting to a Twitch clips compilation highlight video on YouTube that with an eye tracker. So all the way back in 2018, there was this trend, this meme of watching, somewhat revealed, females in somewhat revealing clothing, and reacting with an eye tracker to see if they would look at, their body. It wasn't necessarily the greatest trend. It's kind of disgusting looking back on it, but that's what the internet was. But basically, he reacted to this set of clips, and then he said something along the lines of these Twitch stocks can win over me, or something like that. To which then Alinity, so that comment from PewDiePie wasn't even on Alinity herself, it was on another Twitch streamer randomly, right? And so then Alinity reacted to that video on her live stream and said the now infamous quote, "Can we copy strike this guy?" Copy strike meaning copyright claim, which is a DMCA takedown, which if you have 3 of those on YouTube, your entire channel can get deleted, right? So there was a lot of issues with that very first controversy, because what Alinity implied on doing was completely illegal and was completely out of her control. And PewDiePie being such a massive figure, his fans were immediately very at the defensive, right? And while being mad at someone is fine, trying to take down their work, because even though a YouTube video doesn't seem like that much of a work, it is still personal work that people put a lot of time into, that is, their own copyright and all of that. Trying to take someone's work down is not okay just because you're mad, especially when it hasn't done anything legally wrong, as the content was transformative. Even if it included one of your clips in it, it was transformative and it didn't infringe copyright and many things along those lines. Then there was a controversy with her cats. So Alinity has cats, and she had a lot of cat problems on stream. There was one stream where she fed her cat vodka, mouth to mouth, which, if you don't know, just in case, for cats, alcohol is extremely poisonous. Enough alcohol for a cat could kill it. And vodka being a strong alcohol, it caused a lot of physical reaction from the cat. It kind of looked in pain. It wasn't the very most pleasant video to watch either. Then she also had a controversy where she threw that same cat over her back because it got in the way of the game she was playing. Like, the cat was sitting on her keyboard, right? And she just, like, threw it overhead. Not hard, but, like, enough to, throw it overhead. And I'm just gonna say it straight up. Animal abuse is fucked up. Period. Like, there is no excusing for that behavior. While the PewDiePie situation was taken and stretched out a lot more than it should have, and it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just on a very specific time of copyright issues on YouTube and all that. Just animal abuse is fucked up. An anti-animal abuse agency, can't find which one it was, but it was like from the hometown in Canada where she's from, investigated her home and found nothing in regards to animal abuse, and the clips didn't constitute as animal abuse to that agency. So the controversy, although it's still brought up frequently because it's her biggest controversy, it has kind of, been disregarded by the law and all of those things. So it was alright. Stay hydrated, by the way. Having a water break right now. Staying hydrated is important. And finally, well, not finally, there's two more. This is the first of the two. So she flashed her nipple on stream while trying to put a pillow under her shirt. And while it was for comedic value, and it seemed like it wasn't on purpose, it is something that completely breaks the community guidelines on Twitch. And while you would think something along the lines of, oh, but if it wasn't on purpose, like, you just take down the video, the recording of that clip, and it's fine, right? Like, end of the story. You might get a slap on the wrist, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Well, the thing is that Twitch's community guidelines are enforced extremely harshly. Like we talked about last week or the week before. The week before, our very first episode of Space Out. We saw that immediate DMCA takedowns for copyrighted content meant just channels were completely deleted without any warning. And there have been cases where things from months ago that are not complacent with community guidelines anymore have caused entire streamers to lose their channel. But Alinity never was punished for any of this. Not the cat's abuse situation, not the flashing her nipple situation. And it seemed to a lot of people that Alinity had a lot of inside bias on Twitch. It got to the point where Alinity got so much hate that she had to ban herself from streaming in order to appease the backlash towards her and just keep the hate on Twitch. Because at the end of the day, if it truly was a mistake, then Alinity doesn't have much say in it. It was just Twitch's decision and Twitch's mistake of not having banned her. Then recently, this is the most recent of all of these, Alinity had an interaction with the massive streamer Ninja that ended in her getting a brutal comeback, which was a little uncalled for with the context at hand, thrown her way in reference to the fact that people joke that she's an animal abuser. So what happened was that XQC, another big streamer, got into a Twitter argument with Ninja, the biggest streamer, or at least he was. We don't know anymore because he doesn't stream, because Mixer got taken down and he used to stream on Mixer. But they got into an argument on Twitter, right? And Alinity chimed in after a joke was made about who would you vote in like an FPS game 1v1 between XQC and Ninja. And she said that like Ninja was gonna lose easy, and then Ninja reacted with like, "Don't you have cats to abuse or something?" And like the entire internet just like dogpiled on her, which was a little uncalled for in my opinion. Alinity did get into things that were none of her issue, and none of her image or anything was at stake or anything. So it's not like completely uncalled for, but it's kind of uncalled for the severity of the issue, right? It was a little more than what she truly deserved. So eventually it led to a breakdown on her stream where she complained that people never forgave her for anything she did. And she gets a lot of hate daily for the things such as like the copy strike thing, the issues with her cats, the nipple slip on stream daily, and that she can't go a single streaming day without getting a donation or someone in the chat saying, like, bringing these topics up and making fun of her because of these. So she did this. Here's the kicker. She did this on a stream that was supposed to be mourning over the suicide of a fellow streamer. I forgot what the streamer's name is called, but he was a big part of the World of Warcraft community, and he was making his very own game alongside a group of developers, and he ended up taking his own life because he had always dealt with depression. And Alinity, after talking a little bit about this on her stream, that was the stream supposed to be about, talking about what happened, she then talked about how she was getting hate and how she was getting in a very depressive mindset. And a lot of people got very angry at her because it seemed like she had, almost emotionally manipulated people by relating her experiences to the possibility of her taking her own life, just like the streamer had just recently done. So now that I've caught you up to speed, should we forgive Alinity? In my opinion, the Twitch moderation team is at fault for her hate, and not even her own actions at this point will ever change the internet's response to what she has done and to just like normal streaming. At this point, Alinity's reputation, due to Twitch's inaction over her actions, has caused so much pain and so much built-up tension between Twitch and the community that there's nothing she can do in order to regain her community like cleanness, you know what I mean? Her community being more peaceful and not having as many haters. And it's only Twitch that can do something. They have to take an action for the things she has done in the past. Her getting preferential treatment over the other streamers who get banned for doing way less makes people mad at her because she is the perpetrator of those actions, but the people that are supposed to be holding her accountable are not. However, I don't think it is about forgiving her past actions, but more so judging her for her current ones. I simply cannot forgive an abuser, any type of abuser, even animal abusers. It's just inside of me that I just cannot forgive those type of people, because especially with pets and with animals, it's from what we see in the streams, we obviously don't know what goes on in her personal life. The cat is just a cat. It's just doing cat things like any other cat. And her actions towards the cats are unforgivable for me. But we shouldn't always judge her for those actions. I don't forgive her for what she had done to her cats. However, nothing bad has happened with her cat or the copyright claim situation or the nipple slip since they happened. Nothing else in that section of things has happened again. She has never copyright struck anyone for being angry since mentioning all the way back in 2018. She hasn't had any more issues with her cat ever since she threw her behind her back, and then she was investigated and was told that everything was fine. And she hasn't had another nipple slip or whatever, like any suggestive type of content since the nipple slip happened. So she's not perfect. Evident from what I've told you before, that a lot of people felt like she used a little bit of manipulation with her breakdown stream to make people feel worse for her. I felt like that as well. And I dislike her type of content, but her actions in the past should not forever define who she is. We should be able to maturely say, okay, you fucked up. You've done really fucked up things. You've gone through the process of getting investigated for your cats. You have not done anything. You have not repeated your actions ever since they happened. So now we should move forward and help you improve as a person instead of tearing you down. We have to allow people to grow out of their troubled past, especially if after the incidents occur, their actions change, right? Which is a perfect segue to what I think of cancel culture. So, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I want to just put that straight out there. You can have a differing opinion. Cancel culture, like all bad things, it started off with good intentions and a good message. Canceling people that have done truly heinous actions and crimes is a positive side of cancel culture. It gives power to the people and ensures that people are held accountable for their actions when the legal justice system fails, especially since it does fail with big and important celebrities, those of which who have a lot of money to just brush all of these things away. The internet is there to hold them accountable, and I feel like that is the perfect purpose of cancel culture. However, like all bad things, it started with good intentions. Cancel culture, at least from what I can see at this point, has deviated so much from its original purpose that like people are being canceled before proving guilty or for controversial opinions instead of actually problematic acts. The perfect example of this is Jenna Marbles, a popular YouTuber who was canceled recently, and she has quit like all social media, everything. She just disappeared. She doesn't want to deal with it anymore because all the way back in like early day YouTube, I can't remember exactly when it was. I think it was between 2008 and 2010. She had a sort of a blackface moment where she cosplayed as what was her name? Nicki Minaj, right? All the way back in like 2008, 2010. And she has apologized countless times since and removed the videos shortly after posting it because she realized of her wrongdoings. She has done countless of Black Lives Matters fundraisers for a long time, not even during these Black Lives Matter like hot spot that we're going through right now, right? And those actions do not define who she is now. That is something that a lot of people that both watch her and a lot of people that know her personally, inside and outside the YouTube sphere, say, especially since it's evident that she's changed from her content and her actions currently. But she was canceled and driven off her own platform that she was in for so long. And now a lot of people that used to watch her don't have, their favorite creator for something they had done super long ago and was still held her accountable for it and threw hate her way enough so that she was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not doing this again. So what I feel is that what is cancelable is extremely dependent on a person's subjective perspective nowadays. Problematic behavior can change from person to person. And although something like being a racist, being an abuser, being a pedophile or something like that is very clearly problematic behavior, like 99% of people will agree that it's very problematic behavior and worthy of being canceled, there's a lot of things that don't deserve that, like the Jenna Marbles situation. And now, here's the worst part of all of this. Alinity has not been properly canceled because she still streams, right? She still is within the Twitch ecosystem, and she still does all of her streams. But she got the worst deal of all because she has the hate of cancel culture without it never actually ending. All of the people that feel like she should be kicked off the platform, all of the people that feel like she shouldn't be in the position she's in, continue hating and continue leaving these messages, like I said in the beginning, in her chat and through donations, because they just have this fixed image on their mind of who Alinity is, and they keep on throwing that against her, even though it's happened 2 years ago, and it's not as problematic as, even if it happened so long ago and she changed, Jenna Marbles' blackface, right? So, in conclusion, cancel culture isn't inherently bad. To put an example of it, recently there was almost like a culling in the Super Smash Brothers competitive community. The game about fighting each other with video game characters, mostly Nintendo video game characters. So there was a culling in their community because it was filled with abusers and pedophiles that were covered up by other people in the community, and practically all of them, we don't know, because evidently, if not, they wouldn't have been outed if it was public. They were all outed and have disappeared from the community and social media and everything. And those people don't deserve the clout and the money and the support that they get from the Smash Brothers community. And just as that is a good example of why cancel culture is good, cancel culture can also be used for bad, especially if we judge too quickly or harshly, or if we send hate instead of addressing the issue at hand. Alinity, in my opinion, should not be forgiven because of the animal abuse, like I explained earlier. But you do not have to forgive someone to move on from their topic and identify that they can grow as a person. It is very immature, in my opinion, to harass and berate someone for things they've done such a long time ago, especially when, although problematic, they have changed their behavior and they have changed as a person since then. Should bad behavior be pointed out and held accountable for it? Yes, of course. But harassing someone for months is not how you hold them accountable. The way that Alinity should have been held accountable is by Twitch. Twitch is the one that should be held accountable right now, because they didn't hold Alinity accountable. Twitch fucked up at the end of the day by not punishing Alinity, and it's too late to punish her now for her actions in the past. I feel like we need to move on from hating on Alinity and from still criticizing the same things we've criticized her for so long, and instead criticize Twitch. Give them the fair share that they deserve of the entire controversies, criticism and backlash, because at the end of the day, it is them who had screwed up. Thank you so much for listening through today's episode. Don't hate on people, hold them accountable, and move on. You don't even have to forgive them to do so. Thank you for spacing out.